Hello, I'm Kathleen Reitz and welcome to my channel. Today I have a very special demo for you. I'm going to be demonstrating how I painted this abstract painting. And as I demonstrate the painting, I also wanted to talk a little bit about intuitive painting, what it is and what it is not. I feel like the term intuitive painting is thrown around a lot these days, especially when it comes to abstract work, and I'm going to give you my take on what I feel intuitive painting is and how we can use our intuition when it comes to expressing ourselves on canvas. And also, if you have any questions, be sure to leave them in the comment box. I really enjoy reading them and answering them for you. Let's go ahead and now dive into our demo. For this painting, I started with a toned canvas that is 16 inches by 20 inches. I thought I would have used the canvas for something else that I was planning on painting, but it never came to fruition. So today I am simply painting over it and starting completely over with a new idea. So here I am applying an off-white color that I mixed myself, and also kind of a pretty sage green color that I mixed on my palette. And the purpose of these layers is just to give myself a fresh start on this canvas. And if you look down in the left-hand bottom corner, I've put a picture of my finished painting on the screen so that you can be referencing that as I allow this painting to evolve in front of me. And I will admit that at this point, I didn't really have a strong sense of where I wanted this painting to go. Here I'm applying some greenery. The color I'm using is Green Gold by Golden Brand, and I'm using my silicone wedge in order to apply it, and mixing in a little bit of Payne's Gray also with that Green Gold on my painting. And if you look at the painting to the right of me, I think maybe at this point I just really wanted to duplicate the success I had with that painting. I will put a link to the 3-part demo that I uploaded to YouTube for that painting that's next to me, so that you can go ahead and watch that. But that was a lot of fun to paint. It was a very abstract painting that had floral colors in it, and such a great painting. I think at this point I just wanted to do something similar. And here is where I started sort of changing my mind and changing direction and allowing the painting to unfold instead of trying to control it too much. So I did decide to put on a glove so that I could more or less finger paint with my paint and make it more of a tactile experience, which always helps me to loosen up and get a lot of great textures in my paintings. So that's what I'm doing here. A lot of fun directions, shapes, and kind of like how things are going here at this point. And there I'm using my nail, my fingernail, in order to create some line work in the painting. And these are all just my beginning marks that I'm making in the painting. It's going to change so much that I don't even think at the end you'll see those, but I'm having, as I said, just having a really good time here. And allowing the painting to change directions is an example of following my intuition. So as much as I really like that painting next to me, as I said, I had painted that painting almost a year ago, and sometimes it's just hard to go back and revisit older work and try and feel what we felt at the time that we created some of our best work. So this is where intuition comes in, because I think it's really important to be open to changing directions and also changing our practice. Being open to allowing our art to change and our paintings to take on a direction that unfolds before us is really important if we want to keep growing and changing as artists. After all, as artists, we are naturally curious people. If we are constantly evolving as people, it would make perfect sense that our art would be evolving as well. So I think one of the main ways to stifle our creativity and growth and take all the fun out of creating is to try and get back into the headspace that we were in when we painted something a year or even just months ago. It's important to listen to our hearts and what our heart tells us that we need. And with this painting, my heart told me to head in a different direction. Painting intuitively, however, does not mean that we are painting haphazardly. It means allowing what we already know to inform our decisions about where we want to take our painting next. Because I've been studying and creating art all of my life, I have a very good grasp of composition and how to use color together and how to create a balanced painting. So those are things are naturally going to come out in the work that I create, even if I just let myself create freely at this point, because those things are already solidified in my art practice. So here I've switched to my non-dominant hand to keep myself from controlling my painting too much. And here I'm going in and blending some of these heavy brush strokes. To me, painting intuitively means painting fearlessly. So here I am being bold, and I've decided to just go in and start changing things again. If you're enjoying this video, please consider subscribing to my channel. And now, after all that blending, I've decided to go in with a small round brush and add some smaller shapes. And adding variety to my shapes helps to add interest to my painting. And this is where things started to get fun for me. I added some green gold and some transparent orange and a little bit of quinacridone magenta and mixed those together on my palette, and I came up with this rich, beautiful brown color, which I think is going to really wake up my painting. It's not a color that I normally use on my palette, but I'm really loving where things are going here. And because I achieved these shades of brown and now this color that's kind of leaning in a greenish direction, I used colors that were already on my palette and in the painting in order to mix these colors. They will end up feeling very harmonious with the rest of the painting. This painting is a series of small shapes and large shapes. So here I am back to blending again and adding some large shapes and areas of color back into my painting. Here's a fun and inexpensive tool that you can use to make interesting shapes on your canvas, and that is a piece of paper towel roll or toilet paper roll. And I've simply dipped it into my paint, and I'm just making kind of a fun random pattern now on my canvas. And this is something that I do a lot in my collage work. Now going in with a blending brush and covering up a little bit of it so that it feels more integrated into my painting and doesn't feel quite so distracting. And just for fun, I thought I would go into some of these shapes and actually fill them in with a little bit of color. I always figure if something does not work, I can always paint over it. But in this case, I feel like it adds kind of some fun elements to this painting in a way I haven't done before in my abstract work. And now I'm going in with some white paint to make some more small marks. And I'm coming pretty soon to the end of this painting. And it's not anything like I imagined in the beginning, but I'm absolutely loving how it's turning out. And here is the final painting. I'm going to bring it closer so that you can take a look at the details. And I truly hope that you enjoyed this and learned a lot today. Thank you so much for watching, and until next time, happy painting.